Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Curriculum Night for Pre-Algebra. I'm Mr. Rennie.
And I'm Mr. T. It's great to see everyone. Mr. T is short for Mr. Turley.
Hmm.
If you grew up the same time frame as Rennie and I do, you get the reference.
Oh, B.A. Baracus, baby. You can just call me Rennie from here on out. Let's drop the Mr. We don't need to be formal or anything. But pre-algebra, we are so excited about teaching this class this year and teaching it to you guys because pre-algebra is really the foundation for all the math that's coming next. We lay the groundwork for algebra, geometry, calculus, everything that's coming down the pike when you guys get to high school and to college. And it is so important that you do well this year. That's why we're going to do our best. You guys are going to do your best, and it's going to be awesome. You might see it called Math 8 sometimes. Don't be confused. It's still pre-algebra. All right, on to the introductions. Here we go. First off is me, Rennie. I am a Washington State native, and I am also a Washington State University alumni, a Coug. This is my 12th year teaching math in middle schools all around Western Washington mainly. I started at Islander way back in 2004 and taught here for a few years and then went to a couple other schools, and now I am back. In fact, I've been back for about 6 years. I love it here. I just couldn't stay away. I'm the head cross country and track coach at IMS, and I'm the athletic director here too as well. So all the fun stuff. What do I like to do in my spare time? Well, take a look at the pics. Hiking, live music, anything Northwesty, snowboarding, Sounders matches, rafting the river, and you can even see an old throwback picture of me in all my glory when I was just about your age, 8th grade, right there on the left-hand side. Mr. T, how about you?
Well, I unfortunately am not from Washington. I actually was in Vermont for a long time. I took a quick stop over in Colorado, just about 9 months, and we moved here to the great Pacific Northwest. We love it here, and I have no reason to ever leave. So as far as teaching goes, this is my 8th year teaching students with disabilities, and I've taught in all kinds of crazy places. I've taught anywhere from a traditional classroom, such as Islander Middle School, all the way to the back of a mechanic shop, believe it or not, and anything in between that you can think of. So I've taught a wide range of skills and a wide range of places. But to tell you the truth, when I'm not teaching, I really love to travel. I love to be outside, to play, to have adventures, to learn new things myself. And we're stoked for this year because we hope that you guys are really wanting to learn new things. Just as Rennie was talking about in the very beginning, we're going to be laying the foundation for pretty much the rest of your mathematics career. So before we go any further,
hold on. Mr. T, wait a second. Why are there two of us on the screen right now? Every other class only has one teacher.
well, it's so we can coordinate flannel day, to tell you the truth.
Oh, it is flannel day. Yeah.
So, but actually, co-teaching is when a general ed teacher, such as Rennie, and a special ed teacher, such as myself, we team up so we can make a dream team to teach students with disabilities in the regular classroom so nobody has to leave. But it's fantastic because now there's 2 full teachers in there, so we can employ a ton of different strategies that you can't when there's just one person in the room, and everybody benefits because there's more of us to go around for everyone. So in a nutshell, that's what co-teaching is. Before we go too far down the rabbit hole of exactly what's the math we're going to learn, we're going to take a pause. We're in a brand new online environment, so it's really important for people to know how to navigate and find information. So that's what we're doing here. We're just throwing that in there. If you go to Schoology, click on the big old red one, you'll come to our landing page, the materials page. And this is kind of your one-stop shopping. We're trying to make it super straightforward here. See the big old one there, you know in the right spot. The very first thing you see under materials is you see the period 1 Zoom link. We try to post this in several places. That's one of the places where you can find the link. Right under it, you see that there's a WAG. That's where we will keep our current WAG for the week. This one is September 14th to the 18th. If you open it up, you're going to find all the information you're going to need for the week. You'll find the links, you'll find the assignments, what we're going to do in class, what you need to do on your own, the homework, due dates, it's all right there. Make sure you know where it is and how to find it. And if you're a person who likes to kind of have a backup, that's what we have these folders here for. So if you click on the WAG and you're still a little confused, you can click on the corresponding week of folder. We're going to keep only the most 2 current weeks up, and then we're going to move into previous weeks. So that is a really brief overview of how to navigate Schoology. Make sure you're familiar with it because this is going to be how you submit your assignments.
Excellent. Let's look next at what we're going to be learning this year. What's the stuff that we're going to learn in this classroom with your two teachers? It's everything basically that's going to come later. We are previewing and setting the foundation. So that means we're going to be learning about rational numbers. In fact, we just started off with that last week. We're going to be learning about algebraic expressions as well. What are the bits and pieces of algebra and how do we put them all together? Exponents. Got to be able to deal with exponential equations and exponential functions. Linear functions as well. When we graph something and it creates a straight line, how do we represent that? With a graph? How do we represent that with a table? How do we represent that with an equation? How do we represent that with words? We're going to be talking the language of math that way. And then graphing and slope and talking about what those lines look like and how to describe them. We'll be dealing with much more complex equations than you've dealt with in the past. Most of the equations in 6th and 7th grade have had 1 or 2 steps. We'll be dealing with equations that have 4, 5, 6, even 7 steps to them. They will be complex. We'll be looking at complex inequalities as well. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Measures of a central tendency. This is where we'll get into statistics and looking at numbers and what they mean and why they mean and how we use them and how they're used in the world around us. And finally, looking at triangle relationships. This leads into the Pythagorean theorem, what the relationships are between the angles of the triangle and how useful they are in even fields like architecture, art, design, music, and whatnot. What about grades? That's important. Everybody wants to know how grades are going to work. Well, we are working on a standards-based grading system. I've graded this way for the last 2 years. Mr. T has done some work around this too, and we're going to be using a standards-based grading system. The numbers will be very familiar to you if you think back to how your grades were in grade school, or if you think about how SBAC scores are reported. They're not traditional A, B, C, D, F grades. Those ones have their limitations, and we really like standards-based grading because we can look at an individual state or national mathematical standard and say, how are we doing on that standard? So a 4, if you earn a 4 on something, that says you're well above the standard, right? A 3 says you have met the standard. You are right there. You know the stuff that you need to know to be an 8th grade math student. A 2 tells you you're approaching the standard. You're close. Just a couple little things and you'll get there. And a 1 says you're below standard. We need to do some interventions and try and get that thing bumped up. Now, here's the thing. I think a lot of people will look at this and they'll say, oh, 4 must be an A, 3 must be a B, 2 must be a C, and 1 is probably a D or an F. That is not the situation at all. In fact, we expect that most students, almost everybody, will earn 3s. Or they will be at 2s, and then we will get them to 3s. A 4 is going to be incredibly rare. It's not even what we're shooting for. A 4 means you're way beyond and you're ready for new things. At a grade level math class, which is this class, we expect most people will be at that 3 range, maybe a 3.5, but right in that healthy 3 range. That's what we're shooting for, is to get that standard. So if you have questions about that, feel free to email us. And go ahead, Mr. T, talk about this.
Yeah, so please, email is the key way to get a hold of us. Both of us are moving here, there, and everywhere, got a bunch of things balancing, and email is the easiest and most efficient way. However, just like we talked about in the beginning, you guys get 2 teachers, so please, please, please email both of us on the emails so that we can make sure to really address it the best way we possibly can. So there's both of our emails at the bottom, and you can also find those on Schoology as well. Thanks for taking a couple minutes just to kind of hang with us, figure out what this whole pre-algebra, aka math thing, is all about, what it's co-teaching about, to admire some sweet flannel. And as we said, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to email. Have a great year.
All right. Have a great year, guys. Thanks so much.